o'er the land heaven free, and the home of the brave. My friends, I'm not asleep, I'm just Asian. I've been an entertainer in my life, and once on a tour of mine, you guys remember the early days of American Idol? So I on this tour, we did all, songs throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and when we got to the 90s, we did American Idol, and you guys remember William Hung? She bangs, right? I played William Hung on stages all over the planet. I would come out on stage and I would say, "Hello, my name is William Hung from American Idol." American Idol. Reminds me of a joke that my girlfriend told me the other day. You see, there's a guy, he needs a hole dug. There's a German, there's a Frenchman, there's an Asian. German, you're in charge of digging the hole. Frenchman, you're in charge of removing the dirt. Asian, you're in charge of the supplies. The guy leaves, he comes back, he says, "German, why haven't you dug the hole?" The German says, "I don't know, I didn't have a shovel, I didn't have any supplies." He says, "Frenchman, well, you're off the hook, there was no dirt to remove. Where is that Asian? He was in charge of the supplies." And just then the Asian jumps out from behind the bush and says, "Surprise!" You get it? You want to know my high school yearbook quote? My senior year high school yearbook quote was, "The happier I get, the less I can see."
All right, story.
I tell those jokes, and that's a part of my act today. That's how I make a living. So I tell these Asian jokes because, you see, now you like me. And I grew up in a small town of Ortonville, Minnesota, 2 hours south of here. And, yeah. And I don't know when you become aware of it. Maybe you're third or you're fourth grade, and you look around and you say, "I think I'm the only Asian in the county. It's just me." But you see, I tell those stories, and it has become my shtick for the past, I don't know, since as long as I can remember, since I was 15, 16 years old. When I'd meet new people from around the state or the country, I'd tell those jokes, and that's what would make people laugh. And then they would like me, and then they would become my friends. But I don't know, I think, we're talking about vulnerability. That's the title of my little talk here. And I don't know, I haven't quite sorted it out yet, but I think I got a lot of issues.
What?
Yeah. Well, I lived with you, and now I have a lot of issues. I was adopted. I was raised in Minnesota. Born in Seoul, South Korea. At age 30, I had the chance to go back to Korea and set foot on Korean soil for the first time in 29 years, 8 months, and 20 days. See, I was adopted at age 8 months. I was brought here to America. When I went back to Korea, this was 2011, I was 30 years old. You see, I didn't know a whole lot about the circumstances of my adoption. I just knew that, my name was Sung Joon Park. I was born supposedly on July 5th of 1981. I came here March 5th of 1982. And so when I went back to Korea, my family was excited, and my mom sent me an email like a week in advance of the trip back to the orphanage where I started out my life. And she says, very casually in this email, a week before Thanksgiving 2011, she says, "Mark, I just wanted you to know our family's all excited about you returning back to Korea. I think it's going to be great for you. It's a great thing for the whole family. I want you to know that we were looking in the file, and your mother's name was Myung-Suk Kim. She loved calligraphy and tennis. You were 2.2 kilograms. She was born in Incheon, and he lived in Seoul." And I read that email the week before Thanksgiving of 2011. I was 30 years old. And I said, "What? I I had never heard any of that. I lived my whole life thinking that we didn't have any information about birth parents or my life in Seoul those first 8 months. I didn't know that we had a file on the farm with my mother's name on it. I didn't know that we knew she loved tennis and calligraphy. I didn't know that we knew that I was 2.2 kilograms when I was born. I didn't know that we knew anything. And to this day, I still don't know what the fuck happened. I didn't talk to mom and dad for a year after that. It was, and anybody who knows me, like, mom and dad were tight. And I forgave them, and the last 4 years has been good, and we love each other, and we're good. But I don't know, I think there's still some shit there that I haven't figured out. I called Laura this last week, that's why I'm here tonight. I haven't been to the Tell probably since you were over at Studio 222, and the reason why I didn't come to the Tell for years is because I was afraid you'd put me up here. Because I'm a professional motivational speaker, and I got my shit together, and I perform live for the largest crowds in America, and I couldn't become vulnerable on this stage. That's why I didn't come. I know thousands of people all over the country. Every month I perform for thousands, every year probably over 500,000. I run my own business. It's great. I've lived here in Fargo for 3.5 years. But I don't think I know anybody. Today I spoke for a couple hundred people. 7 days ago I was at Madison Square Garden singing there. Sang for Duke University the week before that for Coach K in men's basketball. Man, that looks great. Then I'm good. I'm good at getting likes on Facebook. And I'm good at making friends because I can make you laugh and make you feel good about yourself. I have 4,972 Facebook friends. But this year in 2017, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold on to the true friends. I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to seek out some opportunities to, is it Katie, the wonderful woman who stood up here and talked about your relationships and talk about how it's broken you, and I'm going to find out who I am without putting on the face, yes. Right? And that's still probably how I'll make a living and how I'll make my impact in life, and that probably won't go away, but in 2017, I want to be more like you. Because you stood up here and you bared it all, as a lot of people did tonight, and I've never done that. I got my shit together. I'm wearing a suit coat to the fucking Tell. And so my friends, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't have a big close. I just know I need to get my shit together, and sometimes I went and saw a counselor last week.
That's my boy.
Because I called Laura and I said, who do you know? Because inside of me, I knew that I needed to get my shit together. Because at the same time that John Lamb can put me on the front page of the Fargo Forum, when I go home tonight to my apartment alone, what the fuck, why are we not living together again? I can't figure that, what? But when I go home to my apartment tonight alone, Sometimes I think I feel like I know what Robin Williams felt. I'm on stage here tonight. That's how I make my living. But fuck, sometimes I feel alone. So here's my promise to myself, that in 2017, the rest of this year too, I'm going to make myself vulnerable to the people that I know who love me. And it's going to be awesome. That's all I have to say.